Hey, it's a Sick Boy from the Gaming Antics Collective. I just wanted to do a quick follow-up on my fairly lengthy rant yesterday with regards to Sony and Microsoft and their plans for hampering second-hand sales and game sharing through their patented technology in order to ensure that one person is only buying a license to a single use of a game. I'm not going to go over the details again. If anybody wants to see my shouty rant, I'll put the link in the info bar, but also it'll be my previous video posted. I just want to give some perspective on this and explain why this isn't something that I'm going to be letting go, and it's not something that we as a community is going to let go, and it's something that the Gaming Antics Collective certainly won't let go. If you are not too bothered by second-hand games, if you buy all your games new and don't see this as a problem, I urge you to consider that there is always a hefty second-hand market for products, and even if you don't care, you shouldn't want the rights of other people taken away. Because as the fact is, the market goes that there is resellable market. There is a whole reselling empire in our economy. It is how our economy works. It seems to me that entertainment medium, and this is something that's spearheaded by the big companies like Microsoft, like Sony, they try to utilise technology to circumvent our not our human rights, because it's not human rights. People start saying this is human rights bullshit, and I apologise for saying human rights, but our rights as consumers. We have the right to resell a product. The way they're using technology in order for fear of piracy, the piracy market is such a fraction of the people who are going to be impacted by this. And as I've said before, piracy is a legal matter. You can, then they can petition for much higher punishments for those who chip consoles, who copy and sell games. That's not the issue here. I'm not here to say that we're defending any illegal practices. What I am here to say that we are vehemently in defence of people who wish to have a product and swap it, share it, sell it on within reasonable use. If I buy a game, I should be able to lend it to my brother, to my friends. I should be able to do that. If someone says, is that game any good? And I should be able to say, yeah, take it away for a couple of days, see what you think. If you like it, buy it. As I said in the video yesterday, that is offering free advertising to them. What they would like in an ideal world is for them to sell us stuff with us just taking it on blind faith, buying it, not allowing anybody else to have any knowledge about it so that they buy it with equal ignorance. That's not how a market works. You create a product. Market demand does not come from your PR people. It doesn't come from any cheap tricks. It comes from your consumers talking to each other, pushing it and promoting it amongst themselves, because good products sell. They really, really do. And you guys are missing out on a trick that Nintendo seem to do right, of the things they do wrong. They do some things very right. They don't go mad with their patent protection. I noticed a few comments I haven't responded to from the video I put up last night, saying, what about Nintendo? And I'll put my hand on heart, I've got no problem with Nintendo with regards to patenting. They've always historically utilised, they don't anymore, but they used to utilise a specific medium in order to hamstring any competitors. Even in the days of the GameCube, they used a special optical disc that was different in size to a DVD. And they have resisted, they've also been the main ones who have resisted the change of turning consoles into home entertainment systems, beyond gaming systems. But that's a digression. The fact of the matter is that as of this morning, I'm on my way into the office now, as of this morning I'm going to be, and some of our colleagues will as well, be spending as much of our free time as we can contacting legal advice, contacting consumer rights groups, and putting this in context to the impact it has to the entire economy, because this is not about gaming. This ceased to be about gaming. This issue is wider than gaming, and it's time that people realise that the reason people like myself, and the reason why the GAC exists, the reason why people go on YouTube and make their voices heard, the reasons you get people like Event Status, and you get people like Alpha Omega Sin and Angry Joe, and a lot of times when they do their rant type stuff, particularly Event does mostly consumer product stuff, people like Alpha Omega Sin does reviews and bits and pieces, but also does his consumer bit. Angry Joe does his consumer bit now and again as well, so people like Total Biscuit, they bring these points up because it is more prevalent in gaming. Gaming is, because it is the spearhead of entertainment technology, it is also at the pretty much, other than certain biotechnological medicinal products, gaming is right up there with the most technologically advanced goods for sale in the marketplace. It is right up there at the top of the list. That is why, as consumers, people should care what happens in the gaming industry, because it impacts everybody. It really does. So, we're going to take this as an attack on the entire resale and fair use of purchased goods. So, we will be taking legal advice. We will be looking specifically at UK law. So I urge anyone who's seen this, anyone who feels that this is offensive, I strongly would urge you. You don't have to get in contact with me. Make this your own thing. It would be better if we were all coordinated. I don't care about being a figurehead for this. I do care about us getting together and doing something about it. If someone with a better reach, a more popular channel, better medium for getting in touch, wants to take this on board, feel free to take it and run with it, provided you're saying the right things. Otherwise, I'm going to be shouting over you as much as I can. But this needs to be dealt with. Go address your local law. If you don't live in the UK, or even if you do, contact your contact consumer rights. Contact anybody you know who has that kind of information. Get that information, disseminate it on the internet. Make it very clear that this has ramifications beyond video games. If this extended, and I've used the analogy before, to my car, which, as I've said before, is a used car. If they destroyed the entire used car market, most people would not have a car. Or the manufacturers would be forced to slash the price of their new cars and would hamper their profits. You couldn't sell new cars for 10, 20, 30, £100,000 if they were the only cars on the market. They really couldn't. They would eventually find out, and they'll do exactly what Henry Ford did in the first place, was to create an affordable vehicle. Granted, it was a very expensive affordable vehicle, and see how things have changed over time. How the used market is now where most cars, the highest number of cars get sold. Granted, of course, they initially have to be sold from the manufacturer, and that's what keeps their prices up. That is how they keep turning a significant profit, because they manufacture their cars new, they sell them at a huge profit, and then when people who can afford that are bored of that car after it's done 10, 20, 30,000 miles, they've had it for a couple of years, it's about to need its first MOT, they decide that's too much hassle, let's go buy another one. And that allows people further down the financial chain, or people who don't care particularly about owning a new car, to buy one. And it's exactly the same with video games. It's the same with any commodity. I buy a shirt, an apple, a bottle of water, I have the right to sell it on to somebody else. Where I can have problems is where I'm using extortionate prices or committing fraud, or making fraudulent copies. That's illegal. That's illegal. If I took an Evian bottle, filled it with tap water and sold it as Evian, I would be breaking the law the same as any video game pirate would. What the gaming industry needs to understand is that they are at the forefront when it comes to progressive consumer rights, and their immaturity, their behaviour, is going to damage everything unless we stand up to them. It's really not a case of them being some kind of insidious evil corporation. It's a matter of them being stupid. They're not considering the ramifications. Perhaps we should go and contact Sony and ask them if every single one of them has a brand new car or built their own home. Because what about resale of houses? The entire housing market is based on the resale of houses. Very few people build their own house or buy it brand new from the builders. Yeah, they don't hire a builder to make a house or buy it directly from the company that made it. Houses get resold. Everything gets resold. Everything that has a market for it gets resold. That includes entertainment commodities. That includes CDs. That includes DVDs, Blu-ray, video games. They are not exempt from our rights. They can't exempt us from them. And they're not exempt from being accountable for their actions. We really need to stand up together on this. I urge everybody, start doing their bit, start communicating on Twitter, Facebook, reply to these videos on YouTube. We need to let everybody know that a line has been crossed here, and the ramifications for it are broad-reaching and deeply, potentially damaging to our entire economical system. If you work in a shop that resells goods, goodbye. We'll have to buy everything directly from farms or from factories. We're not allowed to buy things through intermediaries. That's supermarkets, gone. eBay, gone. Amazon, gone. These are all resellers of goods. Now, granted, it's about the resale of brand new goods, but they're exactly talking about that. They're talking about selling the licenses. They're going to pass on the sale of those licenses. So these markets, for example, online retailers aren't going to be hit by this so much, but eBay's profits are going to go through the floor if video games are no longer able to be resold. You know, talk to your local people in games, Game Station, GameStop, Best Buy. I don't know if Best Buy, actually, I've mentioned this before, I don't know if Best Buy even do second-hand games. I haven't been in Best Buy since I lived in the US, and that was some time ago. But talk to these shops, we need to talk to these companies, we need to talk to everybody who is involved in the resale of goods. Hell, take it off field, go talk, go speak to car sellers. We need to get this together. We need to all, as consumers, see and show there is a resale market. You have the right to participate in it or not, but manufacturers don't have the right to go out of their way to prevent others from engaging in what is a acceptable and standard consumer practice in all aspects of consumerism. Right, I'm going to try and put whatever I can on Twitter when I get information, and I'll put this video up as soon as I can. Really, I urge everybody who wants to get involved, get involved. If you don't feel like you want to get involved directly on your own, then contact us. If you want to push this forward to people who have a larger base, we're a very young organisation. We don't have much of a interest base yet. I urge you, contact people that have as much clout as possible. Get this message out there. Resale of goods is being undermined by the video game and entertainment industry. And as a society, as a consumer society, we need to stand up to it and stop it from happening.